Thank you, Dr. Sanyal, for joining us this afternoon. We'd love to know more about NIIT University. So over to you, sir. We'll connect in
Okay,
the next 15 minutes.
sure. So, okay, thank you, Mr. Said, for giving me this opportunity to talk something about my favorite place, that's the NIIT University. We actually call it the University of the Future, and there are several reasons behind that. The first is, of course, that I think way back when the university was first conceived, we realized that we really need to go green. We really need to reduce our carbon footprint. So people started talking about it 5 years later, but we were actually into it right from the beginning. And as you can see, what you can see over here right now on this slide is just one of the views of the university, and this is showing only one fourth of what it is. And you can see the beautiful Aravalli Hills in the backdrop. So apart from the usual stuff like you have your eateries and gyms and medical support and laundry and stuff like that, what we really are into is something slightly different. And that's what I would like to talk about. So basically, what I would like to touch upon is why NU is a great place to work with, to study in, and the sort of specializations that we offer. Because what we believe is that even BTech students should come out with some specialization so that the transition from a raw class 12 pass out to a finished professional, that should be absolutely seamless. So, I mean, they should not have to go through any further training or anything to land up in a job. They should be able to hit the ground running. And that is why we really believe that we should have programs, and programs should have specializations. Now, the time being very short, I don't know how far I'll be able to cover over here. Maybe I can go up to programs and eligibility. But first of all, let's look at why NU. So some of the best reasons for NU is, the first one is what I've already said, that we are one of the greenest campuses, one of the cleanest campuses in the entire country. And when I say green and clean, you can see that we got this award way back in 2012, even before people had really started talking about green and clean. And even today, you might find a lot of campuses which really don't qualify as green and clean. But we, by any measure, are absolutely green and clean. And then on top of that, I mean, we've been getting all sorts of awards, and the latest one is this Indian Education Congress Award for 2020, in which we were voted as one of the best universities to study in. And the reasons, very briefly, are listed out over here. You see, when I said that the transition from a class 12 student to a finished professional should be smooth and seamless, what I really meant was that when the student first comes in, we realize that we should have a curriculum, and not just a curriculum, but the whole program is designed so that there's a very strong foundation to begin with. So the first 2 years are devoted to foundations, but even over there, you will get a whiff of your specializations, because we start some integrated projects as we go along. Even when you are in the first semester itself, you will start working on some projects, and you will do that with your seniors. And this process continues. And then by the time you come into the fifth semester, that's the beginning of your third year, your specializations start. And I'll be talking about what sort of specializations are available. And then the final 6 months, we have what is known as an industry practice. Here, the university takes it upon itself to make sure that each and every student gets placed in an industry. And we try to ensure that the fitment is as good as possible. That means if somebody is interested in a particular type of work, then he or she would land up with that sort of industry. And then the student actually gets to work in the industry as an intern for 6 months. And this is where probably the final rounding up of the whole personal thing and the technical thing happens. So, and that's standard, and the university provides this support. And of course, we have got a huge amount of technology behind us because we are, as you can see, we are basically backed by the NIIT group, and the NIIT group has been in this business of training and education for the last 38 years. And we are just carrying on from that and trying to take it to a higher level. I mean, just to give you an example of what we mean by that, we are powered by the NIIT group. When this lockdown happened and suddenly everybody had to move online with their classes and everything else, we developed a complete platform. It's not just, say, giving some Zoom classes or anything like that. It's a complete learning platform which was developed. It supports just about everything that you can imagine out of an online learning platform. And I mean, at least our current students actually find it very great. So, and similarly, and we are now trying to take it to the next level where we are saying that, okay, maybe even if the lockdown is removed, we can still keep on running this thing for most of our uh, all sorts of practices. I mean, whether it's projects or clubs or any other teaching learning. So we can, it's a complete platform which got developed, and it was developed in a very short span of time. And that's precisely because we have the NIIT group backing us. So it's a collaboration between the university and the NIIT group, which actually led to this thing. And of course, as far as placements is concerned, we have 100% placements because we have got a very, very large number of placement partners. Those are companies like IBMs and Cognizants and whatnot. They all come to the campus for recruiting our graduates. So, and the reason why I'm emphasizing this is because particularly this year has been a pretty bad year for placements. Because even in other colleges where a lot of companies actually first selected the students and then withdrew it because they were running into trouble. But our placement team ensured that each and every of these offers get honored. And not only technology or not only your academics, but we put a lot of emphasis on co-curricular activities. And that is why, unlike other places, unlike most of the other places, co-curricular activities are part of the, I mean, we shouldn't be calling it co-curricular because it's actually a part of the curriculum now, and you actually get credits for it. And we are very, very research driven. And in fact, we have got a very strong undergraduate research program where we not only say that the students should be doing research, but we have got whole courses which are just meant for doing R&D projects. And not only that, we realize that, okay, even one course is not sufficient. That is why there are some students who really come up with some good ideas, but probably one semester is too short. So recently we modified the whole curriculum and we said that, okay, for those students who have done some interesting work and would like to push it further to maybe develop a complete product, we have got this provision where now they can go for what we call as an advanced R&D project, one more semester. And it's not just the curriculum, but we also give financial support for doing research at the undergraduate level. I mean, for example, if your paper gets accepted in some national or international conference, then we give a fair amount of financial support so that you can go and present your paper over there. Or if you want to stay back during the summer vacation, and especially people who think of going for higher studies, they should be thinking about some good research work because that is what really sets their CV apart from the rest of the crowd. So even they can stay back during the summer, and the university makes the whole arrangement. That is, the stay in the hostel, etc., is arranged by the university. So that's the sort of support that we give to the students. And there's something very interesting. We have 31% of the curriculum can be personalized. That means you can choose what you want to study. So, and the specializations that I was talking about, maybe that will be something interesting. So if we are talking about computer science, so as you can see that the list of specializations is data science, big data engineering, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. And in each one of these, we have industry partners who tell us what are the things which should be taught. And then we actually do it along with all the lab. It's not just theory, by the way. There's a huge amount of lab, and in practically all the courses that we have listed out, so we have got extra project work to be done over there. And by the way, when we talk about each specialization, for example, if you're talking about data science, so basically it's a bunch of 5 different electives that you choose. It's not just one single paper, but it's actually 5 different electives under data science, another 5 under big data engineering, another set of 5 electives in cybersecurity, and so on. So this is for computer science and engineering. Now, for electronics and communication engineering, we have these wireless communication, then signal processing. That we again offer them data science because nowadays the two are actually coming together because you have got IoTs and things like that. So if you're doing it in IoT, then you again will be actually doing a fair amount of data science. So, and then of course, VLSI and embedded systems, that's always a big thing for electronics. And recently we have added one more specialization, which is robotics and automation. Because you might have heard of another buzzword which is gradually building up, which is called Industry 4.0. So basically, this is all based on robotics and automation. That is, how do you automate the industrial processes to the extent where we are talking about we can automatically find out which machine might fail in the near future so that we can take corrective action today. So it goes up to that extent. So robotics and automation, they basically deal with that entire thing. The third BTech stream that we have is biotechnology. And over here, once again, we have got a very interesting mix of specializations. And once again, remember, when I talk about specialization, I'm saying that under each specialization, there will be 5 electives. Along with that, there will be at least 2 projects, if not 3. So that is the sort of grounding that we provide for each specialization. So in biotechnology, for example, food biotechnology, it's something which is perhaps not very well understood right now, but it's actually a very important area of biotechnology. All your processed food manufacturing, that uses food biotechnology. Bioinformatics, that's a very interesting area where you actually work on drug discovery and so on. So apart from these, we also have a 4-year MBA program for class 12 pass outs. And once again, this has not only industry practice at the end of it, but it also has a mentorship program where we assign a industry mentor for each student. After they have completed 2 years, that is, once their foundation is strong, we actually provide an industry mentor. And then again, over here, you have got an opportunity to specialize either in marketing or in fintech or in communication and so on. So so you will see that the usual ones like HR, etc., we are not concentrating on that. Instead, we are concentrating on those which are going to be the things which will become important in the next 2 to 5 years. These are all very rapidly growing areas. And for those students who decided not to take mathematics in their uh, high school, so we have another very interesting option where they can still go for computer science with the usual specializations, except that we provide a few extra remedial maths courses. So they can do a MSc, integrated MSc in computer science. And believe me, these students actually do quite often better than the regular BTech students. So anyway, since my 15 minutes are over, I'll just close this session by saying that I really wish that I could have met you and talked with you at a personal level instead of in this virtual mode, because I always like to meet face to face. And that's all. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Sanyal. It was a pleasure having you.
Sure. Bye.